Hi, I'm Roger and welcome back to the Tractor Tech channel. Today I'm going to show you how to repack your trailer's wheel bearings. So if you're looking at this trailer closely, you may have noticed that it has bearing buddies on it. So you're probably wondering why I'm wasting the time repacking these wheel bearings. Well, there's two problems with the bearing buddy. The first problem is it only lubricates the outer bearing. Your inner bearing is not going to get any grease. Then the next problem is you're pumping clean grease in with dirty grease. You're not getting rid of the old grease. Now, most newer trailers have what's called easy lube axles, but there are also two problems with them. Just like your bearing buddy, you're pumping new grease in with the dirty grease, but the other problem is you can't tell how much grease you're pumping in the easy lube axle. The next problem with an easy lube axle is you can't tell how much grease you're getting into the bearings. So you don't know if you're getting enough or if you're getting too much. I've seen extreme cases where people pump too much, have blown out the wheel seal, and got grease on their brakes, so then the brakes aren't working properly on the trailer, and it makes a big mess. The first thing you need to do is jack your trailer up and have it safely supported. So now we're going to remove the rubber cap. The bearing buddy can now be removed. Put a paper towel over the bearing buddy and use a pair of channel locks. Now remove the cotter key that locks the spindle nut. Then the spindle nut can be removed. Now bump the wheel to loosen the bearing and washer so the wheel can be removed. Now the wheel can be removed. Now the seal can be removed so that the inner bearing can be removed. If you're careful, a lot of the times the seal can be reused. The bearings on this trailer were definitely due to be repacked. Look how dry they are. The procedure is the same whether the axle has or does not have brakes. Now is a good time to inspect your brakes. You can see that these brake shoes are cracked, so they're going to need to be replaced. That will be another video. This is an example of why I like brakes on both axles on a trailer, because brakes on just one axle overworks the brakes, causing them to get hot and crack like these brake shoes did. We cleaned the bearings, so now it's time to repack the bearings. We're going to be using a bearing packer. You put the bearing in and press till you see grease come out. Now you need to put a little bit of grease on the outside of the bearing so the bearing is well lubricated. We'll also put a little bit of grease in the race. Now the bearing can be put back in the race. and the seal can be reinstalled. Repeat the same procedure for the outer bearing. The wheel and hub are ready to go back on the axle now. Be careful that upon installation that you do not damage the seal. The race already has grease in it and the bearing has been packed, so the bearing can be installed now. The washer can go on. Then the spindle nut can go on. To adjust the wheel bearing, you need to tighten the spindle nut down to where there is no play in the wheel. Grab the wheel at the top and bottom and shake it. Then back the spindle nut off to where there is a little bit of play. Then tighten the spindle nut back down to where there is no play. Then if you cannot install your cotter key, back the spindle nut off just a hair so you can get the cotter key and the spindle nut. Install the cotter key to lock the spindle nut. To finish up the job, you need to install the cap, or in this case, the bearing buddy. And the rubber cap can go on the bearing body. The same process can be repeated on your other wheels. Well, that concludes the video on how to repack your trailer's wheel bearings. While you have your trailer in and you're working on it, don't forget to retorque your wheels because that should be done periodically, and also check your tire pressures. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this.